Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the UK Talent Train TV show. My name is Nubian Queen, and today I'm here with the lovely Irene Mutiysa, and she is a poet. And I'm so glad that you are here today because I've got so many questions for you.
I know.
Okay, all right. So, did I pronounce your name right? Mutiysa?
Yeah, Mutiysa, but I have another name which is Dano. So it's Irene Dano Mutiysa.
Irene Dano Mutiysa.
Yeah.
You know, you have to, say with that Kenyan accent. Dano.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So, tell me a little bit more about you doing your poetry. Like, how did that start?
Like doing my poetry? Okay, it started when I was very little. I was very young. I was in nursery school actually.
Oh, okay.
So it was during my graduation. And now the teacher went and wrote some pieces and gave to each one of us.
Right.
So she tried to get to know who has that energy and the capability of standing before people and reciting. So as she was doing the interviews and whatever, I managed to be
How
the
old
best.
were you?
I was around, let's say, 9 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So she gave me the piece. It was just a simple piece, like, we use my ears to hear, my nose. Yeah. So I did it very well until I impressed everyone who was there. So that's when I noticed that there's something in me. So when I went to grade 1, I started doing poetry during graduations. When I was around 13, I started writing now my own poetry.
That's really good. So was your parents there at the graduation?
Yeah, they were there and they were very happy.
They was very happy.
Actually, they were shocked because I was a silent kid when I was very little. So when I stood there and started narrating, my mom was like, no, this is not my daughter.
You were silent, but was you bad?
Yeah.
Okay. Because sometimes the silent and the bad ones, they go together hand in hand.
I know.
You say when you was about 13, you started writing your own poetry.
Yeah.
So like, what kind of things was you writing about? Okay,
I used to do authentic poetry because by then my mom was a single mom and we were going through a very tough life. So at that time we were staying, I cannot call it ghetto, but the life there is,
it was a hard life.
Just the life that is in ghetto. So I started writing poetry about ghetto because I used to see how people were suffering around where we were staying. Some kids could not even acquire education because their parents had no money. Some would go to bed without food. And then I just sat, I looked at this life and then I featured something. I said, like, I can write something which I can just recite to people and it can reach out to many people. Maybe the rich people, the politicians, maybe. Yeah, and then they will get to know what is happening in ghetto. So what I was trying to do is to reach out the information about what is happening at where I am to the people who are in position and in authority. Yeah.
Do you know, that is so powerful because not a lot of people do that. I mean, you saw the opportunity and she ran with it. Thank God. Yeah. Thank God, because it could have went, a really bad way. Can you describe a time, or do you remember a time where you actually you was inspired by something around you? I don't know, maybe, for example, was it a time where you didn't have food, or was it a time where you saw someone do something they wasn't doing and then you just thought, okay, I'm going to use that and start writing? Like, can you think of a time?
Yeah, I had a friend. Now I had a friend of mine who was staying with the father because the mother had left them. Like, she didn't even know where the mother was.
How old?
She was like, that was in 2016, so I think she was like 13.
Okay.
So the mom is not around, they're staying with the dad. So it happened that the dad raped the girl.
Wow.
And then she kept quiet. She didn't want to tell people because she was afraid of being humiliated.
Yeah.
So one day she opened up to me and told me about the incident. So I could feel her, like I could feel the pain, and because I didn't want to expose it as if it was her, but I wanted to use a story to reach out to the people, like to tell the people what's happening to some of the girls in the society, because girls are suffering and they're not showing it because they are afraid of being humiliated.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I asked her if I can use her as my story, like I give a story, but I will not mention her name.
Yeah, you're not going to mention
in
her
a way
name.
that it's kind of hidden. So I wrote that story about that girl who was raped by the father. So that's when I knew that I can do authentic poetry, like poetry which is about the pains in the society. Because mostly I focus on the pains because most people are focusing on love and the good things. So they are trying to forget that there are people going through pain in the society. And they are afraid of telling out their pains. So I'm just trying to approach the world in a way that is different from, I'm trying to do something different from the other poets.
And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. When it comes to like uniqueness and originality, I'm all for that. Do you remember that poem?
Yeah, I remember it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so later on I'm going to ask you to recite it because I'm very intrigued. So that exact same poem, did you get to like perform it anywhere? Like maybe in the school or was it just something that you just like kept to yourself?
No, at that time I didn't have platforms and we didn't have that chance to perform. So at that time I was just collecting a group of my friends. We sit down and then because I like being on stage. So I could just go there and then I tell them, just approach me as if I'm just coming to a stage. Like give me that eye. So I was going there reciting to them and they kept on encouraging me. They were saying like there's something powerful in me. There's something great in me. So like at first I thought poetry is just a simple thing. Poetry is that thing that everyone can just wake up and start doing. But as I was growing and I was getting the motive from my fellow friends, I was just realizing that this is something unique. This is something that is very powerful.
It's a skill. It's a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. So I kept on just reciting to my friends, getting encouragements here and there. To my mom here, I was like, after supper, we were just seated, we were bored. So I just tell them, by the way, I have something I've just written today. And my father was very eager to hear it. My father would be like, just say it. So after saying it, my mom was like, I can't wait to see you on the screen. I'm very proud of you. My mom is one of my best motivators in life. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the time when I first met you. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, describe it. Let them know how I first met you.
Okay, at that day, I remember very well. I was in Form 3. It was during an exam time. So I was just after my history paper, I'll never forget. So I'm just walking at the corridor and then Madam Leila approaches me. She's like, Irene, there's some people. Yeah, we have some Wazongos. That's what she's saying. We have some Wazongos here around and they are looking for talents. And because we know you have a good talent, we want you to come and perform for them. At that time, I had nothing in mind. Like, you know,
I know because they didn't even know. We just crashed into school. We just came. So it's okay.
And then at that time, my mind is on the examination and it's Madam Leila asking me for poems. But because poetry is something in me, I said like, I can't lack anything to say. So I'm there. At first I was tense, by the way, because I like, who are these? These might be great people.
These Mazungus.
Yeah, and then people are like, Guy, your dreams now. You've met your dreams. So I went there. At first I didn't have courage, by the way. Remember?
I remember.
But I did it.
I will explain that in a minute.
I did it and you were very impressed. So at least you also gave me a motivation that I can do it. Like I've approached you for the first time and you are here appreciating me, you know. It's really difficult to approach a person at first time and you do your thing and this person appreciates you.
That's true.
So it was a motivation to me.
And was that the first time like someone like from outside that actually come and listen to your talent?
Exactly. Wow. It was the first time.
Yeah, I do remember. I'm going to tell this story. So basically what happened was we just gate crashed the school, me and Michael. And was looking for some talent and yes, Layla, she's like, you know, because sometimes in the school, especially this girl, she does poetry, you have to come. So I was like, okay, bring her forward. So I think if I remember correctly, we done like 1 or 2 takes. The first take she did, I was like, it's okay, but she just needs a little bit guidance. She's a little bit nervous. I understand that. We just took her out of her lesson. So I gave her some pointers. And then when you did it again, I was like, wow, like she can take instruction, because I find that there are some people like they're nervous for the first time, which is normal, completely normal. But then if you give them direction, you say like, okay, now would you just look up and stop looking down? They don't listen, they can't hear. So for me, that's like, as we say in Jamaica, your ears is hard, you can't listen. And I don't particularly like to work with those people, but I do work with them because, you know, it's all about coaching and nurturing. But that's what's really impressive for us, because it was like she took the direction very, very quickly and was like, okay, so she's taking direction now. Just imagine what, you know, in a few months' time, what she's gonna be like. Because I remember he was like this.
Yeah, I was very fast.
Yeah, very, very fast. And we kept saying, slow it down, because we need to listen and we need to hear the lyrics. So that was really good. And then, so when we put you on TV now, and then we saw the huge difference. You slowed it down. I was just like, yeah, this is someone who we can work with. So now, yes, she's officially on our books. So if you want to book her, then basically you just need to email bookings with an S at uktalenttrain.com and then just write down the details that will go to our UK team. But anyway, yeah, so you really impressed me with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about like your family life. I know, like you said, your mom was a single mom, but did you have any siblings?
No, by then, when I was little, now I was talking about my life when I was in nursery school. My mom by then was single.
Okay.
But I was being raised by my grandmom. My mom was not around. Actually, she was working, but sending the money. Yeah, now she was working for me.
Okay.
So it came to a time when my mom got married. That was in the year, I guess, 2009.
Right.
She got married, and now my brother was born. Now my brother is following me.
Right.
We stayed with my grandmom for a while, but my grandmom got sick. She was diagnosed from cancer.
Oh no.
Yeah, she passed when I was, I guess, 11 years old. Yeah, she passed. So I had to move out to my mom's place.
Okay.
So it was a new life, staying with a new dad.
And your brother?
Yeah.
And your brother now, yeah.
So I was used to my grandma and my grandpa and a girl who was raised by my grandma, whom I took as my big sister.
Right,
Remember I told you I have a big sister?
Yeah.
But she's not biological.
Oh, got it.
So I was used to that. So it's a new life, but I was adapting because I'm that person who adapts very fast to new environments. And my dad was good. Actually, he was caring. He gave me the love that I could not even say that he's not my biological dad because he was so loving. He was so loving. Yeah. We stayed together as a family of 4 for a while. In 2016, my other brother was born.
Okay.
Yeah, I have another brother. We stayed. In 2020, I guess 2021. Now my sister was born, who is our last born now. She's a Lashi. She's around 2 years old.
Oh, okay.
Now that's our last born. I'm the first born in our family.
Yeah. And then, like, what is that like to be like the firstborn? Do you feel like there's a lot of responsibility on you? Because, like, you know, in families, like the oldest always has to set the standard. And then, you know, in Kenya, if you don't, well, of course you know. But as a girl child, it's like, there's a huge difference between a girl child and a boy child. It's like the boy child, they're more favored because, you know, they consider like they can do more and so on. So like, what are some of the pressures that you have found, and has that impacted you as like with your talents?
No, mostly in my family, we don't have that discrimination as who is the best. My father and my mom equalizes us. But the fact that I'm the firstborn, I now have responsibilities. Like I'm the second mom. If my mom is not there, then I'm there.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of responsibilities. Like I have to take care of my brothers. I have to teach them the right way. I have to mentor them in their talents too, because they do have talents.
They do.
My brother dances. The other one likes doing engineering. He creates things, a lot of things that will just scare you, like cars. He can just pick up plastic, some bottles, and then he just makes something that will just shock you. And then
like music, like a beat.
No, not music, not actually music. Like he can make a car from plastics and it will be moving, and even it can carry the young ones, like they can sit there and then he can carry them.
Okay. I'm interested in that.
He likes doing those kind of things. So I have to mentor them. My brother too is not that easy to stay with. Like sometimes he's very, very hard to deal with. So I have to be strong. I have to show him that I'm not afraid of him, because these boys, if you show them, they're afraid of them. Because sometimes he tries to control me. He's like, I'm a boy, I'm the boy. Come on. I can't watch utensils.
I knew he was going to say that. I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah, boys are very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But I just thank my family. They have supported me. My brother too. He's always like, I like the way you do poems. So can you just write for me something? Because when we have the closing assembly, I want to go and recite something there. So I usually write.
Really nice.
I always write for him. So if there is an event in the school, he just recites what I taught him. Yeah.
Okay.
And he says that I'm his mentor.
That's really nice. Because you're using your talent in a way that is actually impacting your family, and you're actually showing your brothers, you know, how they can follow you and follow in your footsteps, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
So what about school? What school did you used to go to?
I used to go to Kenya Girls Center of Excellence. I did my KCSE last year in December.
Right.
And now I'm about to join.
Did you get good grades?
Yeah, I got good grades.
Okay.
Yeah, I got good grades. I had to work hard. So like, I am about to join college. Yeah, I'm thinking of joining Embu College to do tourism and management.
Okay, why tourism and management?
I love explosion. I love the explosion. I love just exploring nature, going to different countries, meeting new people. I love interacting, by the way, like meeting the Wazungus. Yeah, I love interacting with them because in Kenya it's really hard to find someone who you can sit and start speaking in English with them. If you sit down, you'll speak either Shang or Kiswahili. But I love speaking in English because I just love making. I want to make it. I want to acquire the UK accent.
Okay. Well, the good thing is you are very, very talented, and I'm gonna do my utmost best to make sure that you go very far. You're gonna have the opportunity to explore the world. So yes, you'll be doing your management and tourism, but your talent can actually make you explore the world. And the greatest thing is that you have UK Talent Train to push you, and we're here to get behind your talent so that you can shine. Because I find one of the biggest problems in Kenya is that there is talent here, but there's no support.
Exactly.
And often that is because of the mindset. The parents are like, no, why are you doing that foolish thing? You can't make no money from that. That is stupid. You need to go and like do some farm work, or you need to get a job. You need to be an accountant or a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. So, you know, those are some of the obstacles that unfortunately young people face. And it's a shame because you can have talent and waste it.
Yeah.
I'll say that again. You can have talent and waste it, especially if you don't have the support. Because just within ourselves, we always got that, what do we call it now? That voice in our head saying, I'm not good enough. Or am I good enough? Can I make it? Can I go that far? But when you have someone to tell you like, yeah, you know, you are good, you are wicked. Oh my God. The other day, on set, you was amazing. It boosts you. Yeah. It boosts you, like you said when I came and I saw you the first time. So yeah. But she's not just a poet. Actually, when I went to her school, if I remember correctly, she did a dance. Was it the Kamba dance?
I did a Kamba dance.
She did a Kamba dance, and I was like, oh, okay. She can recite, but she can also dance. But she can dance really, really, really good.
And I did some modeling.
Oh yeah, exactly, yeah. And she come.
I was the Miss Casual.
She won Miss Casual. Yeah, so she knocked it out the park. So multi-talented. So tell us a little bit about that side of things and the dancing. Like, what got you into dancing? And that day, what made you want to actually do the Kamba dance?
Mostly, I love my culture. I love the African culture so much. So that's why mostly I am praised on the African culture, and I can write songs which based on the African culture. Right. So that day, because we planned on something cultural, actually I came up with the idea. So I told them, these are people from out country, these are people coming to our country, and we want to show them what we do in our country, what's our culture. And
I love that. That's what I was asking for that day. I want to see culture.
So I told them we can just come up with a Kamba dance. So we sat down and we thought we came up with a dance that was sung during harvest by our ancestors. Right. But I didn't start doing cultural dances just in high school. I used to do them even in primary school because we had the competitions. We would even go to national. And besides my primary school, I was also sponsored in a place we call PCS, Compassion. Right. Actually, they are from different parts of the world. Others are from UK.
Right.
We have different sponsors. So at that place, they mentor us. They try to nurture our talents and to give us a platform to show what we have. So mostly they were basing on the culture.
Right.
Like they were giving us songs that tell us more about our culture, what our grandmothers and great-grandmothers used to do, the songs they used to sing during harvests, funeral, weddings, and whatever. So I was just so much interested in doing this. And I knew that I could check, like I was flexible, I could dance.
As you can.
Yeah. So I started doing it there. When I think I was 14 years old. That's when I started doing cultural dances.
Okay.
I continued doing them and developing more interest in them.
Right.
So when I went to high school, now I became like, I'm the leader. Like if these people want to do this, like the teacher has asked them to do this, to present in a class and whatever, they will just come to me.
Right.
By the way, you know so much songs, you know a lot of songs about the traditions and whatever. Can you just tell us one about wedding? The teacher asked us our wedding song, and because we know a lot of songs, just tell us one. And I was just there teaching them how to dance, the songs. And I just enjoyed doing it. And apart from cultural dancing, I still dance some other songs, but I'm not that perfect. Like I just love being happy and enjoying. So I do it for fun. So I can say my talents, the talent that I treasure most is poetry first.
Yeah.
I still do writing. I write stories. Like I used to write stories when I was in high school.
Right.
People just come ask for my storybooks. They got to read and they could just develop a lot of interest in reading my books.
And then is the storybooks, is that still like based on the same topics that you do with your poetry?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a teacher who noticed that I can write stories.
Right.
That was Mr. Benson. Yeah. Okay. He was my best English teacher. He was doing literature.
Right.
So you know these teachers who do literature like knowing more about what you can do and nurturing what is inside you. So it will give me a chance. We used to do set books.
Right.
Like some books we will read, like novels. So because I was very fast in reading books and in capturing what is in books. And even like when I read a book, I could just sit and imagine of my own different story, which is almost the same as this one.
Right.
So the teacher will just give me a chance, like a lesson. I go in front, I just narrate the story.
You're very creative.
Yeah, I'm creative. And then sometimes he will say, just go look for a group of students who can act. Just teach them, write something for them. They just come in front and then they act the story for us.
Right.
Because acting the story, it will make you will never forget about it as long as you have watched it.
Exactly.
You have developed an interest in it. Even when the exam comes, you will remember what was acted.
Yeah.
So that's how I kept on nurturing what is in me and knowing the talent, because I have a lot of talents.
You do.
Yeah.
You are what we call multi-talented.
Yeah, multi-talented.
Multi-talented. So there's so much you can do. So, what's going on in your love life?
Oh my goodness.
Is there a man there?
Oh, okay, let me be honest. In my high school life, I was not dating. Like I didn't want anything to do with love because it will just interrupt my education. And
very good. As a mom would say.
Yeah, and my mom was like, if I find you with a boy, hey, one of us will go to the mortuary and the other one to the police station. So I was afraid. I was afraid of boys. Like I was afraid of boys. I was like, even when a boy tells me to know who my mom is, can you just get the hell out of here? So like, okay, now that I'm outside here and I'm beautiful, yes.
Yes, she is. Yes.
And boys approach me. Like I'm approached by a lot of boys.
Yeah. It's an easy question. Do you have a man? Yes or no? It's as simple as that.
It's kind of complicated. I can not say I have a man, but I have a crush, and he too has a crush on me. We're just waiting for the right time. We just let things flow. But it's good. I like him, and I'm just waiting for that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the pressure like for you at school? Because the parents, the mom and dad, put so much pressure on just focus on your work, no boys. And what I've seen here, especially with your school, remember I used to say to you like, oh, no joke, no joke, no joke. I don't think she even gets time to sleep in their school. I mean, she does, but I mean like, the hours are just crazy. So by the time you finish your chores, by the time you finish doing your lesson, In fact, tell them what your schedule used to look like, because I want people to get a mental picture in their heads. This is what it's like in East Africa.
Yeah. Okay, I cannot be negative about my school. Actually, it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, in Africa and based in Kenya, our schools are so tough. Like we have very tough teachers in public schools, and I love that tough life in high school. In public, because actually when I was there, I was feeling like I am so much pressured. This is not how I should be living and what. But when I've come outside, I've just tried to learn that these teachers were just trying to model us in who we were to be when we get out and how we were going to face the world. Because life is not that easy in Africa.
No, it's not.
Life is hard in Africa.
It's not.
And okay, in my school, we used to sleep at 9:30. At 3:30, by 4 we were in class. Because we knew, like our principal used to tell us that you all know what has brought you to this school. So if you came to this school to sleep. If you came here to learn, then learn. But let me not find you sleeping. So our school was very tough. It was very tough. Kwanza my principal, that woman modeled me to who I am, because I always say, back in Form 2, I almost got lost the way. Like I got myself in a bad company. I was feeling like now I am a big girl. No one has to tell me like, why are you telling me I'm a big girl? So as I was getting lost, I was not even noticing that I'm getting lost. So when the teachers were trying to bring me back to my right way, because they knew me and they knew who I can become, I was feeling like this teacher should not be doing this. So one day my principal called me to her office. She really loved me. So she asked me, Irene, now that you have just involved yourself in a bad company, what are your plans? You came here to learn. I remember when I was coming to that school, they asked me, so what do you want to become when you grow up? I was like, I want to become a journalist. What? So I was taken to the journalism club. They were saying, this innocent girl, this good girl will just come. And then suddenly I'm changing. I'm becoming another person. I'm becoming very rude. I'm even becoming a bully. Actually, there's a time I was becoming a bully, because in high school, mostly in Form 2, if you don't just be keen on what you are doing, or if you don't just focus on what has brought you to school, that is the place you can just lose control of your life.
But I'm trying to understand, because you was in boarding school. So like, what was it? Was it you missing home? Like, what was it that made you turn the other way?
Not actually missing home. Like, I am here meeting people. So I'm from, I was not from town. I was from a rural area, let me say that. So I'm coming here.
Village.
Yeah, a village actually. But I schooled in town. But I was not that, I had not explored that much, so I was having some village mentality in me. So I'm meeting these girls from Nairobi, and they are like, you can do this. They have tattoos on their bodies. They are talking about, they are talking about how they smoke when they get home. They are talking about how they do these bad things, and then I'm like, this is the life. So they are telling me like, this teacher, the way this teacher dresses, the way it's bad, the way teacher talks, the way they hate this teacher and whatever. And at first I was like that innocent girl. I didn't say anything negative with my teachers. So now I've started saying how my teachers are bad. They are now telling me how these people are bad. Like I was working with people who are telling me, like, do this, this is the right way. We used to sit down and read, even revise for exams. But now I've met these friends who are telling me like, you don't have to go and read. Like you can see people like Willie Paul, the earning man. Willie Paul is one of our artists. But I'm not saying that he's not studied. He is. Like they're telling me like, musicians out there having money, they're just
you don't have to work as hard.
And then they knew I was talented, so they're like, you are talented, like why are you reading? Why are you even wasting your time? Leave this bookworm us to read. Let's go and sleep, Oga. We used to go, we sleep better, we used to sleep. And on Saturdays and Sundays are the best times, are the silent days, are the days you can sit and revise. But we took them as the days that we can sit and make stories, have fun, talk about birthday parties and all. So I was getting lost. So the principal noticed that I'm getting lost. She called me, she talked to me. She was like, I cannot sit and watch you getting lost. So just go, think about your life, take a full step, write to me what you came to do in this school, write to me what you want in your life, and write to me if you're going to change or you're going to stay. that kind of a life because I'm going to call your father. And my father is white. So when I heard about my dad, I sat down. And then I started imagining him entering the gates. I will be on the other side of the fence because I know that man. So I sat down, by the way. I started looking at my grades. They were going down. I was going down. I love business. And my teacher, Mr. Odor, knew that I love business. So I noticed the change. Like I'm coming from a B+ to a C-. The next time I'm in a D.
Whoa.
Yeah, I even got a D. Like my total grade was a D.
It was like a huge transformation. Huge. Yeah.
So I noticed now I was like, I'm changing. I'm totally changing. So I started just cutting myself off from them. I cut them off. I started moving myself back to where I was and standing on my feet again, which was hard. If you get lost in life, getting back to who you are, it's really difficult. It's the hardest thing in life.
It is.
Because you will try to move and then you're like, no, let me go back. Let me go back. So I kept on backsliding. So I started realizing myself when it was very late. I was in Form 3. So that's when the parents came for an academic day and the deputies tried to talk to me. So she told me, now that you know your talent, you know you have a good talent. It's not that these people have talent, are where they are because of their talent. These people have discipline. These people are educated. You cannot just go there, just slide and just find yourself being famous and a celeb. There are some procedures in life you need to follow. So one thing, just develop your discipline. So that's when I started thinking and I started coming back to who I was. So that's the time now you met me. You met the changed Irene.
Wow. So it's like, So it's like we came at the right time as well. Wow.
Because if you came at Form 2, these people will be like, no, these people are going to use it. Don't just go. Just don't go do that poetry. Just keep your poetry. You'll do it after school. That's what they were telling me actually. They were like, you can just go do your thing after school. Like right now, no one is going to notice you.
But you know what? Just going back to what you were saying, like for example, we use like a musical artist for an example. It may look like all glitz and glam, they have money and they got the social media and stuff like that. But it's a big thing in the music entertainment industry, meaning that if, like for example, you as an artist and I'm booking you for like an interview and you come late, you come like 2 hours late. Or we're going to the recording studio, you have to pay like for your time if you're going, if it's an external recording studio and you show up late. That word gets around. It's not good for you. People don't want to book you for their shows. Worse if you're someone that like drinks and smokes a lot, or like if you're heavily like on drugs, like we do crack or whatever like that, then people don't want to book you and stuff like that. So that it's not. You gotta have discipline. That's my main point. You gotta have that discipline because people won't book you, and the word will just get around the industry, and that's it for you. In a matter of time, you're finished. So I just want to go back to that example. Wow, I did not know that, but it just puts everything in perspective for me now. But you cut it short, only to go back and just give them the time frames of like what your day would look like in school. Because I want those in the West to understand, because they're watching, but they don't really know much about Kenya, don't really know much about Africa. So while I'm doing these interviews, I'm also educating them as well, so they can get to understand you, but also where you're coming from. So can you just give like a rundown again, like how it would...
We used to wake up at 3:30 by 4 a.m.
3:30 a.m.
Yeah, 3:30 a.m. And at 4 a.m. I'm in class. I'm having my personal studies up to around 5. And then the teacher comes in for the preps. We just have some lessons up to around 7. At 7 a.m. we go for our porridge. That's our breakfast. We do our duties. We wash the classrooms, we wash our dormitories, clean our plates, our cups. By 8 we are at the assembly. We do our normal duties, like the teachers come give us duties. They talk about the day. Yeah, we know the teacher is on duty
in assembly.
Yeah, the principal tells us about the day. Now we go back to class. The lessons start immediately at 8:40. So we're in class up to around 10. At 10 we go for a short break. That's the break. Now we visit the washrooms.
Yeah,
it's only like 15 minutes of visiting the washrooms.
If you take tea in that time?
No.
Oh, okay.
If you have some assignment that you have not completed, that is the right time you will complete.
Okay.
If you have a question you want to ask the teacher, that's the right time to. So we come back to class at around, let me say, 11.
Right. Okay.
Not 11, not actually 11. So we got out at 9:30 up to around 10, 15. Right. We are back to class up to 11:30. At 11:30 now it's when we take our normal breakfast. Right. That is tea and bread. Okay. Of which the bread you buy for yourself. Hey, this is Kenya. Hey. Now.
I love how she says that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we take our breakfast for around 30 minutes. Right. We're back to class. Lessons again. Like when I was in Form 4, we used to have 1 hour lessons. When I'm from Form 3 to Form 1, right, it's 40 minutes lesson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm having my lessons up to around 1 right. sharp. I go for my lunch. I go for my lunch, which we call githeri. Let me not talk about that meal.
I've seen that lunch. I've seen it with my own 2 eyes.
Let me talk about that lunch. But it's a nice lunch anyway. We are better than what it all did have.
Exactly.
So we have our lunch for like 1 hour. Right. The teachers have their lunch too. They come back to class at 2. Right. Now at 2, we are sleepy. We are tired. You know, we have had a long day.
Yeah, from 4 a.m.
Yeah, but you can't sleep in class. No. Let me tell you, you can't. You have to stay awake. You have to strain those eyes. And now at that time we are having chemistry. Oh my God, double lesson. So we have our lessons up to 4. At 4 we go for our games. Now we change. We go jump in the field, have some exercises.
With what energy? But okay.
But you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say that's where we acquire energy, by the way.
Right.
So we need to make our bodies flexible. Yeah. Because when you are after those exercises, because you can sleep, by the way, you stay awake when you freshen up.
True. That's true.
Like,
that's true.
Yeah. I'm free.
Very
so
true.
We have the exercises. We go back to class at 5. We have 1 hour personal studies. That's when we approach our friends. You ask the questions that maybe the teacher taught something during the day, you didn't understand. That's the right time now.
Okay, so that you can catch up.
It's a review, yeah.
Okay.
You go to review with your friends what the teacher taught.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a catch up. So at 6, we get our supper. Yeah. We have to line up.
Yeah.
Imagine now from Form 1 to Form 4.
Yes.
All those students in that long line. Now we have to get our supper. We use 1 hour. At 7 we go wash our plates. At 7:20 exactly we are settled in class very quietly. Personal studies.
7:20 you've gone back to class.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now we have to study up to 8. The teacher comes in. We study up to 9 for 1 hour. The teacher gets
tired.
out. The teacher gets out. Now from 9 you have the teacher left some assignments. Now from 9 to 9:30 you are doing that assignment. 9:30 we go to sleep.
But do you have to do the assignment on that day?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do it like.
You will get punished if the next day you have not done the assignment.
Oh.
Some teachers be like, in the morning when you wake up immediately, I need those books in my table. So you have to.
So you have to make sure.
Yeah. If it's a lot of assignments, okay. Actually, we have to sleep at 9:30 p.m. But if the assignment is a lot, we have to extend. Yeah,
just to make sure that it's finished.
Sometimes I will even extend up to around 11 because I have to finish the assignment and maybe there's something that I'm not understanding. I have to go back to my books. I have to study. So sometimes I will even sleep at 11 and then I come to the dormitory and I just realized that I don't have a shirt.
Oh my God, you have to do some washing.
I have to do some washing.
No.
Now I have to go and wash. So I sleep at 12. Again, I'm up at 3. It was not easy. But if you go through that life, like I cannot be compared with the person who went to a private school because in Kenya, private schools are different from public schools.
Very different.
They can even wake up at 7, they take their breakfast, come back to class, they can even just study for like 6 hours and then they go to rest, have their own studies, you know. Like it's something different from us.
It is.
So that's why those people, no, I'm not saying like it's bad to take your child to a private school. It's good, by the way. It's good because if my mom had money too, she would have taken me to a private school. But my life and a life of a person who is in a private school, it's kind of different. How she will just get out here to approach the world and I will get out to approach the world is something different. She will find a lot of hardship. But because I'm used to this hardship, when I'm out here, I I feel okay. Like I don't feel anything new because I'm used to this hard life. I'm used to taking this bread.
Yeah.
I'm used to taking this ugali and cabbages. Sometimes I'm used to this bad economy because I know in school we suffered. Like I'm used to this life. I can even go to work. Like because like I'll give an example of me.
Okay.
When I was out here, after doing my computer studies, like I have to wait for the courses to place me to a college.
Okay.
So I felt like I could not just sit and wait. So I have to get something to do. So I got myself a job.
Yeah.
Because I was feeling like I'm very idle. But someone who is from a private school is like, no, this is the time I have to relax. Sometimes there's some amount of money you'll ask your mom.
Yeah.
But your mom will be like, I don't have that money.
I don't have it.
And even sometimes you don't even have to ask. You just sit and watch and you are like, I know there's no money in this house. So I sat down and I was like, I need some makeup. I need to do my hair. I need to have fun, like buy myself some things. So why can't I just get myself a job? So I asked my mom if I can get myself a job. But my mom at first, she was like, no, you're still young.
Yeah.
So I kept on telling her that I'm feeling so bad staying idle. I just need something to do.
And I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why in a minute. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, my mom was like, it's okay. If you have something to do, as long as it's something good and it's something I'm okay with, you're going to do it. So I found myself a job.
Thank you, Mom.
I went for an interview and it was my first interview.
Yeah.
I had never worked in any other place, but I'm coming to the interview and the boss is like, you have something in you. Like, I like your courage and you are the kind of people we are looking for in this job. And then it happened that I met a very nice job.
Right.
I got a very nice job and I met a nice boss who was also encouraging us.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
He was encouraging us. He was like, I know at your age you shouldn't be working, but you know, I started working even when I was young, and you can see now I can get what I want.
Yeah.
So in a few years to come, you will be me. Where I'm seated is where you will be seated. Yeah, he was a good person.
He was motivating you.
Yeah, so I talked to my mom about the way the boss is so motivative and the way the job is nice. So my mom did her own research.
Yeah.
She can't just let you go like that.
Yeah, exactly.
She was like, no, I have to go and find out. You might be lying. So she did her research. She was sending my sister now. Yeah. To come and check where I'm working, to just do some surveying. Yeah. So she did it and she was like, she's okay where she is. So I was okay. Sometimes I will even support my mom, but I'm supporting my mom. Yeah. Yeah. Because my siblings are still studying. So they need a lot of money too. Of course. So if my mom needs something, I'm like, no, mom, I have some money. So let me send you. And it makes me feel good how I'm just taking care of my family. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I can take care of my family by the way. Yeah. So
and you know, I want to commend you for that because the bad side of the music entertainment industry, and what I find is that so you're talented, you leave school, and then as you said, you sit around idle, you don't know what to do. Yeah. This is where the men start coming and looking for you. Yeah. I can take you to the studio. I got a studio, don't worry, I'll pay for everything. And then before you know it, some bad things happen, you know, like for example, you get raped or something really traumatizing happens to you. So that's why I commend you, because you didn't go down that route. Now, I know you haven't been in the music and entertainment industry that long, but have you heard stories similar like that, where, you know, some young girls, you know, they got roped to go into the studio, or they got promised a recording deal and then it didn't go well, or they find that they're actually selling themselves now just to survive, instead of like going looking for a job like you did? Okay, what I know, mostly, like people will come approach you because they know you have a talent. Exactly. And they will promise to support you. And then on that way, like, I'm going to the studio because this man has told me he'll take me to the studio. So when I'm reciting my poem, it happens that he's stealing what I'm saying. Like he's stealing my content. So he goes to use this content in another place, this content, and then he starts earning money through me. Exactly. While I'm earning nothing. Now that's the biggest advantage in it. Another thing, like we meet people, most people working in studios are boys. Yeah, exactly. They're not old people. They will come approach you and they tell you, because you have something you can do, I'll just take you to my studio. And most of them, their studios are located in their houses. Exactly. So they will just take you to their houses, and by the time you are messed up, you will not know. Exactly. Yeah, that thing has happened to most of the girls in Kenya. And
That's one thing I was afraid of.
Yeah.
One thing I was afraid that someone will come to my life to steal my content. Another thing I was afraid that my courage will be stolen away, because the moment I'm raped, I have no self-esteem. I'm even afraid of doing this music, because I'm like, is this what they call music?
Exactly.
Yeah, I will be afraid and I will not do it again, and I will even hate my talent, because I will be like, what kind of a talent is this that I have to go through pain to acquire what I want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's opportunity for you to do your poetry in a song that goes viral.
Yeah.
Who would that person be?
King Kaka. Oh my God.
Explain more. Why?
He inspires me a lot. Like, King Kaka does poetry and he raps at the same time.
Okay.
And his poetry is really based on what is going on in Kenya. Like, he speaks what is, and he's not even afraid of approaching the politicians in what. If there's mistreatment, he stands up, writes poetry, and he recites it to people. So, like, it encourages me, and I'm like, he's very courageous.
Yeah.
But I started watching him when I was in primary school.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
okay.
I was in primary school and I used to love him so much. So he has done a lot of poetry. He did a poetry about his dad who was dead. He did a song with Josh.
With Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did a song with Josh that was Shonana Badai, and he was doing it in a poetry form.
Right.
So that's why I love that song. And every time, even Josh knows, I love King Kaka. I really love him so much, and I would like to meet him one day.
So, tell him.
King Kaka, I love you so much. I will wanna meet you one day. You inspire me so much. I just wanna do something with you. And I even have a poem for you. One day, if given a chance, I will.
You have a poem for him?
Yeah, I love him so much. So I chose to write a spoken word for him.
So, King Kaka, get in contact with me. I will make this work. Yeah. All right. Do you think you're brave enough to write a poetry about what is going on in society now, and would you address that to Ruto? Are you brave enough to do that now?
Yeah.
You'll do that?
I will do that. I will address him. I know. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I have that courage. I will.
Okay, good.
I don't even have to write. If Ruto comes here today, I will just go there and it will flow, and I will recite what is happening in our society today.
Right. Okay. You can ask me any question you want. You got one question. Make it a good one. What is it?
Okay, you know.
She thought that quick.
Okay, now most of the people, like now when you came from UK, you came to a school, you found me, you noticed that I had a talent.
Yes.
Like, to some people, it's hard to work with me. Like, you have worked with me from Form 3, that was in 2021, up to now it's 2023. You are still working with me. Like, what inspires you in working with me that much? Because some people will just have left it at a point. They could not have continued, but you are still there. Like, what is that thing that makes you still stick in me, and you still want that best of me?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a number of factors. I'm going to use my own personal experience. When I was your age, I wanted to be even when I was younger, I wanted to be a dancer, professional dancer.
Yeah.
I wanted to be like a choreographer, makeup routines, have my own dance company, and just like do like what people are doing now, like dancing for Beyonce. That was my dream. But my mom was like, no. I wanted to be a lawyer, and I did not want to be a lawyer. She wanted me to be a criminal lawyer. But within my personal self, one, I didn't want to be a lawyer because I felt like I have to lie. It's not in my nature to lie. So number one, I couldn't do that. So even though I did performing arts, even though I got into a university that actually accepted dancing, I didn't go. And I think that's my biggest regret in life. I didn't go. So I never had anyone to push and encourage me to just get behind my talent so that I could shine. That's number one. Two, from the day I saw you, I just knew that you had star quality. When we put you on the TV, I saw it even more. So I just thought, okay, we'll have to just make time develop so that you can finish school. And I'm gonna come right back to her, and it's time to get you where you want to be.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm stick beside you all these years. And I've also seen, to add to that in Kenya, a lot of people come here, they look for talent, they do shows, they make money, and they go.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they're not really interested in the talent. And that's where we're different. That's where I'm different. Like I'm all about making sure that you get to the next level. Otherwise, what is the point? Like I want to have a legacy. I want people to say, I want you to say, do you know what? I came to UK Talent Train, and look at me now in the next 5 years. And it all started here because they believed in me. They gave me the platform. They helped me get bookings. They helped me get paid bookings, and so on. So that's what I want. I want to create a legacy, and I want something tangible where the outside world and people in Africa can say, do you know what? Those people, they find talents, they nurture, they identify talents, they nurture talents, they train talents, and they actually do something for talents. Yeah.
That's great. That's so good.
So now it's just the beginning. This is your first interview. It's just the beginning. I've got so much in store for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
It was a long interview, but it was very interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
It was really
very
good.
interesting.
It was.